Hello and welcome to Starting Points, where one thing leads to another. I have a lot of things I want to share with you today. So I best get flying. These books refer to some kind of travel in the air. This first book is by Rodney Pepe, and he amazed the different things that he used for his story. He'd create physically. The mice in the flying basket, the mice and the travel machine, the mice on the moon, this is an old Russian tale. Arthur Ransom made a collection of retellings of some of those classic stories. The Fool of the World and the Flying Ship. And same title. The Fool of the World and the Flying Ship by Christopher Denise. Now, he maybe is the one that he's changed the wording, but there was no indication as to who was retelling the story. But it's his illustrations. The characters are mice, so that adds a dimension to it. Little horse, humpbacked horse, the little humpbacked horse. This is a Russian tale as well, told by Margaret Hodges and illustrated by Chris Conover. Another flying horse one, Mistletoe by David McPhail. First Flight by David McPhail. A lot of these authors wrote many stories. Here's a collection of stories by Ovid. So they're short, 3-4 pages for most of the stories. And he wrote them down a long time ago, in time of the Romans. They were translated by Ralph Humphreys. And one of the gems that's in there is the story of Daedalus and his son Icarus. Daedalus being the inventor, both of them imprisoned, wanting to escape, and the solution, wings. Later version, maybe 40 years after Humphreys translated it, a man by the name of Slavitt, David Slavitt, translated it. And I like both retellings. It's neat to read them both. So I thought I'd share it. It's not a children's picture book, though, more for adults. The Seaview Hotel is for children. James Stevenson. Now, I picked up a copy at a library book sale. And then it was re-released, reissued, this time with added watercolors, which the first books didn't. Now this man, like Daedalus and Icarus, was imprisoned as during the Second World War, prisoner of war, and to keep his sanity, he drew things out of his imagination. And other guys, they must have, I can't imagine if they were there not being impressed and saying, hey, you got talent there, Jim. Once you're out, if you get out of this, you should do something, which he did. Fortunately, he got out of it. And fortunately, he created these books about the frog band. This is the frog band and the mystery of the Line Castle. You can see a bit of a hot air balloon there. And this is a 3 adventures of the frog band. It includes the Line Castle one, and includes the one about the onion cellar, and the frog band in Durrington Dormouse, which was a favorite of mine. Again, you can see a hint of a balloon there, and this one, not in that collection, is Alphonse and the Stonehenge Mystery. And so, David Wiesner, the June 29th, 1999. And he's got a fanciful imagination too, and I like his books a lot. Beverly Major tells this wacky story. I've shared this with 10-year-olds and 9-year-olds and 11-year-olds. The magic pizza. Now, Natalie Savage Carlson wrote a number of stories that take place in France, and she also wrote French-Canadian folk tales, 2 volumes. This is one of them, and this features a flying canoe in one of the stories. This whole book is about the furious fly cycle, and my guys really enjoyed this. Jan Wool. They also enjoyed Chitty Chitty Bang Bang by Ian Fleming. He wrote the James Bond novels, but he had a fascination with cars, and this is a magical car. Mark Twain had an interest in just about everything, and I'd read his Tom Sawyer Detective and hadn't read Tom Sawyer Abroad, where he goes to Europe, but there's a hot air balloon that's featured in transportation partway on their journey. With one group of students, I got copies of this book. I liked the book a lot, and this was for 10 and 11-year-olds. It included some history, different locality in France, the French language a little bit. So, and a suspenseful story. This boy journeys to France, where his uncle's living. This is after the Second World War, and his uncle is an inventor working on avion, a glider plane, and but something's going on there, and it was a gripping story. Everyone was interested, and one of the things that the young man does is he starts to learn French words, and as he learns them, we made a dictionary, and at the end, when he writes a letter in French, we translate it then using our dictionaries. Daniel Pinkwater. Well, I can't say too much about this man, except he wrote some books that involve the name Larry. But other than that, no, he wrote children's books, and they're all a little enough off the wall that you just can't help but appreciate and laugh. And he illustrated his picture books, but he wrote a number of books for teenagers that just, well, they're quite fascinating. Borgle. This book was written by Kenneth Opel. He's a Canadian, and he wrote a trilogy called Silverwing, and Airborne followed it. And I really like The Airborne. And this book is done by a couple. Carol Carrick writes the story, and her husband, Donald Carrick, does the illustrations. And they've teamed up on many stories, some wonderfully touching dog stories, and this one was a sequel to a book called Patrick's Dinosaur. And so it's called What Happened to Patrick's Dinosaurs? Well, the picture sort of gives that away, doesn't it? But someone else must have been thinking along the same lines. James Gurney, an amazing, amazing artist, put together this Dinotopia book, and there's others in the series, so I thought I'd leave you with that one. I think for cover quite an age range, this one would. Well, thanks for joining me. Until next time, bye for now.